All right, welcome back to One More Tune. We are back in person again after a slightly tumultuous few weeks.
I'm going to call it post-summer stress disorder that I've been under. And I actually just, it feels like it's been about 3 months since we've recorded the podcast.
Since we've seen each other.
But actually, like, it's not been that long. It's been a few weeks, but it just, it just feels like it's been ages.
Yeah, because we had a couple of disrupted weeks. I think we recorded one early because one of us was away, and then we were both ill, so we did one on Zoom, and then we missed a week, and now we're back. We've both had the lurgy that's been going around.
I don't know what you had, but I'll tell you. Like, I know as everything's floating around with this new strain of COVID going around, attacking everyone, I don't know what it was, but when I'm ill, normally I can still operate, I can still get stuff done.
Yeah.
This time, I was like literally in
Bedridden.
bed, couldn't stand for about 4 or 5 days. And
I think for us, it's been a kind of like a few things all culminating together at the same time. Like you're saying, it's post-summer, and
100%.
I think for both of us this year, the sort of peak busyness of summer stretched out quite a lot longer
100%.
into the rest of the year than it normally does.
Yeah.
I think because, like, you know how weddings are getting nowadays, but people are always looking for ways to save a little bit of money, and some of that is either doing it in a different day of the week during the summer or doing it in a different month of the year that isn't a peak summer month or still on a weekend. But that has resulted in the kind of wedding season stretching quite a bit.
And my like, funnily enough, my sort of final nail in the coffin before I got not well was and I'm sure that these are related, is I was playing a wedding in Thornton Hall, and it was a full day. Like, full day, and I'm talking like I got there at like, I don't remember, like quite early in the afternoon, like 12:01 or something to set up. I was playing the aisle, playing the actual ceremony outside, and then I had set up in the drinks reception, and I played, I think I played 3:45s there. And then I played...
It's only 6 o'clock and you're already 4 hours into play. Like,
then I had to take everything down to move into a different hall where the DJ was to play a final hour-long set. And I remember the nature of it being that I was playing the ceremony, I then had to run straight back, play the reception, and then I had to go straight in there.
Yeah, you've almost got to be ready, waiting for the people as they move from one area to another.
So I didn't eat the whole day.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
Other than I ran out like in the middle of the day to literally completely just chug down a Huel drink.
Oh my God.
And that made me feel more ill.
Connor's running on Soylent Green now.
Yeah, so...
Gruel.
So basically, I remember, and then I had to... So obviously, you know, I'm assuming, obviously, you've done the loading at there. So you've got to, obviously, wherever you manage to park, and then you've got to go up, down this big, long corridor, and then through, you know, a couple of doors and stuff. So, anyway, I come the end of it, I've been playing, you know, the whole day for 5 hours. I'd had to reset my PA up twice, including one outside. Anyway, by the end of the day, I remember having this feeling of just, that was the minute. You know, when you get that tick over the line when I'm like, oh, I'm getting not well.
Yeah.
That was the minute, like that evening, where I was just like, oh no, I'm getting not well. And then the next day, it just completely hit me.
Yeah, I think it's almost when you like feel hungover.
Yeah.
And you haven't even drunk or gone to bed. Mm-hmm. It's not like resulting from bad behaviours.
The
it's
headache,
so dehydrated.
That's
I don't know if it's necessarily amazing listen to us go on and on about how ill we've been, but it has not been a fun few weeks. We're sort of regathering ourselves and recouping ourselves.
100%. We spoke about, obviously, on the Zoom podcast about burnout and about illness as a musician. You know, obviously, it's unavoidable, as it is for everyone. You know, sometimes you just get sick. But, I mean, the couple of things that I have learned that might be beneficial to people actually listening, for once, I've got a bit of advice, maybe, is like, you know, definitely even in the summer, like, it's so easy to just take on just, you know, a million
I think
gigs.
I think the thing that messes people up who are self-employed and stuff is knowing about like success can feel like loads of different things, and I think when you're at a certain level, success can just be like, I'm so busy, everyone wants to book me, I'm able to do all this work, and it's hard to argue that isn't 100%. Like peak success in that moment for where you are, because you've been striving to get enough work to be able to do it full time. You move to doing it full time, you fill your diary out, that feels like you're doing what you need to do. But it's so unsustainable. It's like what we talk about all the time with, I think one of the benefits of being able to do the weddings and the private parties where the money's slightly better than doing the sort of circuit gigs is that you don't have to work the same kind of hours or be working sort of like every day of the week.
100%.
Until late.
That's where like we should honour that and take advantage of that in that.
But then you do it the other way when you've got enough private parties and weddings coming in and there's more money on the table and people are offering you good deals for like extra work, you then take them as well.
Because you also
and you used to do 3 pub gigs on a Saturday and then you end up doing 3 privates or 2 privates and a wedding on a Saturday.
What I'll say is the weddings take it out of you so much more than the
you don't realise
gigs.
how much you're in your own head the whole time doing your sort of social presenting thing
100%, and the
to
stress,
everybody.
You know, as well. And you can go into a pub with no social battery and just ignore everyone. I'm not recommending you do that. I'm just saying you
can get away with doing that.
Get away with just going in.
You can do the gig but sort of hide otherwise.
You just go in, you unpack, you plug in, whatever, right? You could get away with that. With a wedding, you know, these people are booked you, they know who you are, they come, you've
got to bring everyone with you. You've got to bring everyone with you.
Exactly. So, it's a completely different ball game, you know, and that's what I've noticed this summer is like, I've done a lot less gigs this summer than I have in previous years, but they've mostly been harder weddings. But the 1 week, like just in a weekend of the private event, wears out my social battery just as much as a whole week of playing pub gigs.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's some of the ones where it's like you go around someone's back garden. We do a few garden parties and stuff that are
they're the best ones.
Bit of a hangover from COVID. I think that people are they've kind of opened the door to doing stuff at home a little bit more.
I love it. I love them.
It's great extra work for us because it often sits in a really nice window on a weekend when we're
100%
before like going to a wedding of the evening or whatever. But because they're quite, I don't know, it's often a smaller number of people, depending on the size of the garden party you're doing. But it's a lot more kind of socially intense. No one's really like 5 hours into a party and they've been drinking for a while. It's not exactly the most socially lubricated environment. And if you're walking into someone's back garden to be like, I'm going to come and take over the space a bit.
Yeah,
that can get your head right to kind of go and be able to do those gigs well is quite a lot.
100%.
I actually find the weddings sometimes easier than those because a garden party is like people come for multiple different reasons, not necessarily to come and have a like dance and a sing and a party.
100%.
But at a wedding, you've got people who are waiting for that moment to sort of like go mad.
The atmosphere is incredible as well. Like the differences in terms of some situations, in my opinion. Some situations you have to work harder to get the same result, right?
Yeah.
So like, and the easiest.
I don't like it when it's too easy.
The easiest place, though, the easiest place to get a result is a bar. Funnily enough, like if you're playing a weekend slot on a bar, I mean, people are all. That's why they're in the bar. They want to have a dance. They want to. But the thing is, if you show up at a garden party, Steve's barbecue. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to get them to go from like the normal barbecue, just having a bit of a...
Everyone's sitting around having an Aperol Spritz.
To get everyone up dancing and get them into it and stuff, it's so much harder. And the thing at a wedding...
But it's weird with those... Sorry to jump in. It's weird with the garden parties that sometimes it's appropriate and fine for you to not get the same... like peak response. We talked about like intensity of gigs and stuff, and there are some gigs where it is right to go and just be playing and be on. Absolutely. And just like create some atmosphere.
100%.
It doesn't have to always be a big party rave, but it's so hard in my head because I've now got to a point where I feel quite comfortable getting to that in the right parties. Yeah. When I have parties where it's not necessarily needed or expected, I feel like I'm failing.
I know.
Even though the expectation and the want is to get me to just create some atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
If the whole place isn't booming, in my head, I'm like, well, I failed.
I'll tell you why that is, right? Because you are addicted to the dopamine.
Peak of it. Yeah.
Like, you are addicted to that feeling, that rush of like, which is why a lot of well, listen, I'm not claiming to be an expert. Everything is my opinion on this podcast because, after certain comments in previous videos of he thinks he's an expert.
At least I've got trousers on this time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's true. We've listened to some of the comments. I don't think I'm an expert on anything. I just want to point that out. This is all my opinion, But what I will say is I think that thing is very real of when you were in the moment, especially at a wedding or there's a lot of people and you've got everyone jumping up and down and you're playing, you do get that rush of like, wow, like that dopamine thing. And I can only imagine what that feeling is multiplied by if you're, a big star and you're playing stadiums and that.
Insane.
So then the same feeling that you get when you get up and, if you get up and it's not expected and it's a quiet gig and no one's up dancing and you're like, what's going on?
I get so in my head so quickly.
And then translate that back to the stadium. Imagine you're an artist, you've toured the world, you've had that feeling every night, and then all of a sudden, like, people lose interest. There's some new people coming. This is why they have this big downfall where they get addicted to, like,
sleep
terrible drugs. Yeah. Because, like, it's hard. I was watching a podcast the other day, actually with Paul Smith on.
Okay.
It was that Still Ryan guy.
Oh yeah.
And and it was an older podcast.
Up the toffees.
Yeah. God. It was an older podcast. He was talking to Paul Smith, and he said something that I was like, "Oh my God, that's just right."
That's it, yeah.
And he was saying, Paul Smith was saying that this job, he was like, when you stand on a stage, whether it's comedian or whatever, when you stood on a stage, he's like, your body is in fight or flight response, right? It's like, he said, standing on a stage with all these people looking at you is like the evolutionary equivalent to like being a gladiator, like stood in the thing. Right?
I mean, it's a bit cringe,
No, you know what I mean?
I know.
Listen, right. No, but what I'm saying
we are gladiators. Do you believe in life after Rome?
Oh, God. Russell Crowe. But no, like, but no, what he was saying is that, like, basically, like, it's not good. Like, the whole fight or flight.
Yeah, you can't live in that. It's not a good place to be. But our job is that we get paid to do that.
And doing that every night, he went, it just destroys your nervous system in your body. Yeah. Like, it destroys it. And that's what he was going on about. And he was basically saying, like, you've got to sort of manage it effectively.
That emotional regulation thing's so hard.
Yeah. He was like, because it can literally destroy your mental health and everything, because what we do every night is get up on a platform essentially and go, everyone look at me for 2 hours and
judge me based on what I'm about to do.
And oh, I better not make any mistakes. Or like, and you're balancing that line between complete nervousness of don't mess this up with like, sort of
knowing that you've got the ability to kind of like take over something.
100%, yeah. I mean, you're in control of the room.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
But you are in control of what everyone's hearing.
I wonder if you did a psychology thing on what it is that gets people to a thing where they like, I want to be a performer when I grow up. I wonder
think
what it is.
That we all have egos that we all have that thing that goes, I want to be the center of attention. And that's not necessarily a bad thing,
Yeah, it's sort of like being a self-advocate, isn't it? Like you're putting yourself forward.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with liking being the center of attention as long as you're not being an idiot about it and being like...
To the detriment of other people.
Yeah, like being like, but I think that definitely, like, and I feel like a lot of performers that I know as a kid were very much like...
Tell me about your childhood trauma that got you to this point.
No, but I feel like a lot of people I know, like, they sort of very creative sort of people and all that, but like maybe just no one really like paid attention to or whatever. Maybe it's just all a crave for attention. Maybe that's what it is,
I guess it must be to begin with, to be a performer for any sense, like in any discipline, it is just 100%. The sort of like wanting to be seen as capable and skillful. And
this is not a normal job, and most of the people who do it are not normal people. Like, what I was going to say...
If you've seen any of the guests that have been with us so far, you tell me who's normal, who's not. Should be a normal SAE.
To be fair, Joe Reeves quite normal.
Yeah, Joe's normal. Thing is, but it's all normal within our scope of normal. And what's normal, anyways, Connor? Well adjusted.
Well,
None of us.
what is normal? You know, I mean, he blows air into something for 2 hours for a job. I mean, like, what's normal? There's nothing normal anymore, you know. Yeah, as I say, you know, I mean, there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum.
He said all musicians are on the spectrum as well now.
Carlos is deeper into the spectrum.
Oh no, he's propping up the spectrum from underneath.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, yeah, but as I say, I think it's great though. I think that what you find in this industry is it gives a place for everybody, which is amazing, you know. And you know, no matter what weird, quirky thing that you do, you know, there's a place. You know,
find your audience for it. Yeah.
And there's so many people I know who are doing really well because of those quirks and those weird things about them as well, which are just amazing. So, yeah,
like Carlos,
you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, like, you know, his personality attracts people to him because of the way that he is. You know, yeah, as I say, I've found that this industry can be both the most sort of the harshest, like, competitiveness sort of industry, but on the other side, it can also be the most sort of inclusive of everyone, kind of, you know.
And I actually think in a one of the things that I noticed quite a lot from the difference with trying to do the original music side of things for a few years, alongside doing the cover artist stuff. Yeah, I think it happens all the time and people talk about it a million times, but I think the covers side of things is more of a meritocracy, where if you're good and you work hard, you do well. Yeah, I think that is true in some senses with the original music side, but there's a lot more sort of luck and who you know and all those kind of things. In any job, any business, like from our covers side of thing, it's about who you know. Yeah, like we share work between a network of musicians 100%. And that brings us all up. If we didn't have that, you'd have less work and people 100%. Doing less well. Yeah. But it's less about, like, sort of, you know, the balance between whether it's image first or talent first or any of those things is kind of like makes a bit more sense in our lane.
But the world is changing. And I don't mean to go very deep on this, but the world as we know it.
Them bloody Gen Zers.
No, but what I mean by this is, right, go with me on this, right? What I mean is...
Are you going to start talking about how no one's dancing anymore?
No, I'm talking...
That's just your gigs,
I'm talking about these content creator people.
Right.
These influencer people, right?
Not a new term.
Yeah. I make myself sound old, but
these internet trolls.
You know what I mean? This Instagram. No. What I'm saying is that I know some people. I'm not going to say who, but I know this is just the way of the world, and I accept it. But it's an interesting observation. I know some people who are not very good. That's not, no, but that's, I'm just saying, right? I'm not saying I'm amazing.
And if Connor can't do your private party, he's happy to put you in touch.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, I know some people, like everyone knows some people who aren't good at their job. I'm sure someone watching who works in an office knows someone who's a liability in the office, right? Yeah. I know some people who aren't good at their job. But they're probably busier than me, right? And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm great. I'm just saying that I know some people who aren't good. They're not very reliable. They're not very professional, and yet they're really busy. And I'll tell you why they're busy. They're busy because they are an influencer, right? And what I mean is, like, they've got like 20, 30,000 followers on Instagram. And they post every day about, you know, what brand of toothpaste they use when they brush the teeth in the morning and
everything's
stuff.
Through the sort of lens of...
And I get it. It's building a personal brand. And I'm on board with it. I love it. But at the same time, it's just like...
To see it from the outside can feel... It's that cringe.
It's just like, remember when people got booked because they were really good at what they do and they put their heart and soul and years of their life into training to be good at what they do. But now people are literally people are sweeping gigs under the rug from people who are genuinely amazing at what they do just because they appear online to be like really, you know, a big...
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I feel like I feel like some of that has to come home to roost at some point, though, because if they don't fundamentally have the skill, if they get the opportunity, are they going to take it? You know, someone who's got a good online following.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen a lot of things about comedians blowing up online, and then they go and do like a tour around America, and they haven't actually worked on the skills to get to the level of being a touring comedian.
Yeah.
Because like they've just had a few clips from a few shows that have gone viral, got a big following, but then haven't got an hour of comedy. It's like have they got a solid 245s to actually work a room with?
Yeah, and
as a musician,
I tell you what, I can't stand, and I don't care if I ever get to 100 million followers. That'll never happen. But even
it will happen. Sign up to that.
No, but even if it did, I tell you the one thing I will never do is post stories like, "Hi, like I'm looking for a restaurant that'll collab with me, so you can give me free meals all night while I make an Instagram post about you." Come on, man. Like, I mean, listen, if a brand reaches out to you, okay.
Fishing for it.
Literally asking for it. Like, I know people who are like got a big following in the music world who put posts out and they're literally saying, if anyone can like send me an outfit, wants to do a collab, like I'm going to this event and I'll wear your clothes and stuff like that. I
guess it makes sense in some sort of like
maybe, but
level of business thing. But
listen, again, I will stress it's a personal opinion, you know, but the world wasn't like that 10 years ago.
Fast forward to episode 2555 of this podcast where you're sat here and I'm like, oh, Connor, what are you wearing today? And you're like, this is my Armani. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, you know, if sort of Yorkshire Tea want to sponsor me, no, but like, you know, I get it, and I get what they're doing, and the world is changing to a point where you can build a personal brand and you can make money, and I get it, but it's like my brain can't comprehend it because I was just getting used to 10 years ago when like literally people or whatever 20 years ago, whatever 15 years ago, I don't remember. Like I was just
you are sounding old now. I don't remember. I need my medication.
I was just getting used to like, you know, BBM and people and you know and
we're a weird generation because we've seen the whole
it's crazy.
The whole gambit of the internet.
Like I remember very very early on like MSN like and stuff and like
you'd have your MSN bio and if you had like a mate round you'd put like their name in the bio and like you'd chat to people
like yo what's your MySpace handle bro
you know whatever
I mean?
and like if you going out with a girl you put a name like XOXOXO
100% and like and you know, that was peak technology, right?
Did you ever log off MSN and log back on so everyone else got like a notification that you were online so people might message you?
No, I didn't know that was
a little trick.
I used to love doing that nudge thing when it shook the screen on everyone, just constantly, just, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, but to me, like that was when, and again, I probably sound like an old person, but to like, I'm not even old, but it's just gone so fast, the progress. But like, for me, like, peak technology was like we had the power to connect, right?
It's when it was still felt like magic. It's like why the first few Harry Potter films are better than the rest of them. It's because it still felt like magic.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? I don't know if you ever thought about this, right? Facebook, when we first had it, was to see things from your friends, right? That's the point of social media, people you know, right? If you go on Facebook now or Instagram, 90% of what you see is not people you know. It's influencers.
I remember there was a time when Instagram changed their feed from following. You know, your feed always used to just be who you followed and what they'd posted. And there was like I think there's a way you can still
if you have a teen account on Instagram, like for teenagers.
Why have you been checking out you've been checking out teen accounts on Instagram, have you? How do you know technically what having a teen?
I've seen the advert for this. If you have a teen Instagram account, they prioritize people you know other than like the crap. But like I remember seeing an interview on like Wired or something with the guy who invented the endless scroll thing, and he literally said he regrets inventing it. And he said like basically the idea was initially, well, obviously they want to keep people on the app. So it's like, well, when you've scrolled and you've got all your updates on your friends, well, how do you keep scroll? How do we keep people on the app? So the idea initially was like, well, will start showing them things they might be interested in off other people they maybe don't know or follow, but it's what they're interested in, and that's how it started. And then now, because of the whole, the data they've got back and the dopamine and whatever about keeping people on the app to show adverts and whatever, now it's like they're like, who gives a crap about the friends? Show them this stuff.
It's just another advertising vehicle,
and things, and it's sad because, I was saying to Carlos the other week, I would love to go back to, and you're talking about someone who gets most of my work off Instagram, right?
Yeah.
I would love to go back to no social media when people would message you and go, "Hi Connor, I want to book you for my wedding. I got your number off this girl whose wedding you played last month, who's my sister or whatever, and you were amazing, and we want to book you," and word of mouth and numbers, and you don't have to play this game of competing with all these other people who are like, sort of like, welcome to a day in the life of,
But that's why I think trying to keep your messaging as transparent and clear as possible is the only way you can think about it. I've had conversations with people recently about how to best market yourself as what we are trying to do, and what the type of content is that you should be putting out, and whether those videos that are demonstrating you actually playing the instrument, the thing that people are going to book you for.
No one cares about that anymore.
No, wow. Seemingly so. No. But for me, I can keep myself on track by posting real footage from actual parties where 100%. I'm doing my job. 100%. I can't demonstrate that I'm good at my job in any better, more clear, more transparent way than that.
That is classic advertising. You want to show your new bar.
I am Ron Seal. Do what I say on the tin.
Yeah, look, right. You want to show off your new bar and advertise it. Okay, how about filming a video of your bar and showing people it? No.
Rather than standing outside with the manager and throwing a pint in their face.
Let's get all of the staff to just do this weird
dance
soap opera thing.
Yeah.
Doing the Taylor Swift bloody... the world is
we
going...
are sounding so old.
The world is going nuts, mate. Honestly, I can't take it anymore. I'm so frustrated by this, to the point where
I wonder what Binley's Mega Chippy are doing now. Oh. Do you remember that? What was the guy who had the corner shop and everyone Wakey Wines? Remember Wakey Wines?
There was I seen literally a couple of days ago. Someone made a post on a group on Facebook about local shops failing. Because of the internet and people buying stuff. What was the shop selling? I do not remember, but it was something that you could easily get on the internet. And people who were younger people were messaging going, "Oh, what you need to do is do a TikTok live stream of you stood at the counter and things." And they were just you can play games on TikTok and stuff and that'll bring people into that. And I'm just so this poor...
The game has gone. The game has officially gone.
The world has changed seemingly overnight. It's not been overnight, but seemingly to me overnight. It has changed. And I know, unfortunately, that soon I will be doing this. Here's a day in the life of me going to play your wedding.
Oh, I've already done it.
Hey, I know
you've already done those videos on the motorway.
Not with the cringy voiceovers. That's the last straw.
I've done voiceovers for some of the stuff for Hollabody.
Because apparently the voiceover instantly engages with the people and stuff. Yeah. And I get it, and it works,
Oh, mate, if you look at some of the other videos I've done before, I've done voiceover stuff.
And I know that I will do it, but I am every ounce of what's left of my dignity is literally just
Connor, we're on a podcast right now. We're on our own podcast. This is probably peak cringe.
I know.
Oh, have you got a podcast? Yeah, we have a podcast.
Oh,
so you are doing a voiceover right now.
That is true. This is becoming an existential crisis right now for me. Yeah. But it's the end of the film where you realise you were the problem all along. You know what I mean? But
end of the Truman Show where it's the walls just fall down and it's a set. Yeah, this is actually just a set.
Yeah, 100%. But no, I mean, that's it's what I'm worried about is I can accept where it is right now. I can, right? I don't agree with it. I feel like it's a contest that doesn't value the right things. I feel like people who get the opportunities online are not for the right reasons. People get the opportunities because of there's people,
Some other social
there's
score
people-
in the background kind of thing.
there is people that are literally getting to direct movies because they have a TikTok or something like that where they make like weird.
But that's what I'm saying. I
comedy
think
videos
it all
on a
comes
phone.
out in the wash. They're either good enough to do the job when they get the opportunity,
Yeah.
or they're not, and
Yeah.
it becomes, and then that's their
But
kind of
here's the
opportunity
thing.
gone.
Here's the thing. That success is supposed to be what happens when talent meets opportunity, right? But the thing is like
Page one of this book again. He's been reading.
That was a Connor
Have you got,
special.
have you got to chapter 2 in this book?
I just, right. But what's happening now is that opportunity is happening when, success is happening when opportunity meets sort of
exposure
or
virality.
Exactly. But the thing is that, people are going viral not for the right reasons. Like, there's people.
But what's the right reason? Like, you can still get a video of you doing an amazing performance that goes viral.
But I don't understand. Like, there are some people. It's because some people just know how to play the algorithms, right? I see some people who I know are insane musicians, unbelievable. Better than probably 90% of what you'll see on your feed, right? Unbelievable. And I've got 60 likes or something on a video, and then there'll be somebody who's dancing around in the pajama shorts. Like, I'm sorry, but
which video are you gonna watch?
No, no. What I'm saying is, and then they have 1 million followers, and the next thing they're doing a brand deal with and it's like,
it's just influence marketing, though. I think if
it is, and it's the world. And
it's whether you want to live online or not, though. We don't live online. We live in the work that we do. If we're talking about this paradigm of what we're talking about, we live through the work that we do. I think it's just you post the videos of you doing the real job and doing it well, and then that's how you can just be an honest competitor in this environment, and you'll succeed or you'll fail based on still feeling true to what you're trying to do.
I think so. I think for me, that's what it's about. It's about the morals, and it's about I just don't want to compromise with morals too much. Like, I just want to be me. All this technology, everything's going on. It's amazing, and it gets you to amazing places. I played all over the country this year because people have seen me online. It's amazing.
Our jobs kind of don't exist, really.
And I know that this is the way the world's going, and I have to adapt to it. And I know I'm just being one of those people who are like, moaning, and you can't stop it. But also, like,
you're just sick of playing Sabrina Carpenter songs, aren't you?
Or it's just, but I mean, like the songs, right? It's like the songs, like, you lay in a song because it's trendy on TikTok.
Yeah,
and
I did that a little bit with a few things, and then immediately remembered why I try not to do that anymore, because you play it in a one bar, one night, and one weekend of the year, and it absolutely pops off.
But
you play it 3 months later, 3 weeks later even.
Yeah.
The fact that you're trying to play it to jump on what's popular becomes
100%.
uncool immediately,
100%.
and people don't respond.
And what's funny is, like, you play, I don't know, whatever, you play whatever song's trending on TikTok for this week, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God, right? And then you play it 4 weeks later, and everyone's like, that was last week.
That one, yeah.
Whatever. Oh yeah, do you remember that? Right. But you play Country Roads, which was written
all-time fucking stone
literally
cold classic. I love it more now than I ever have.
And I guarantee in 5 years, I will be playing Country Roads and everyone will be dancing. And that's the difference between this generation of,
that's fine. It'd be very interesting to see what music that is big now has any sticking power.
There's not.
There's
not that much. And I'll tell you why. It's not the artist's fault.
It's
some
the churn.
Amazing songs.
It's just the amount of stuff. Like, there's a new trending thing that is the next massive thing that everyone's 100%. Talking about every single kind of week or something.
Because if a big band in the 80s was bringing a song out,
that'd be number one for months.
In the news, and that'd be widely publicised, and everyone's hearing about it in the newspapers and that. But because things move so much quicker now with the feed, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like, they just, that was last week, everything now is new information, and it goes do, and it's almost like, and then they think, why is a lot of people getting diagnosed with ADHD? I can't think why. You know what I mean? I struggle to watch a 2.5 hour
Me
film
and Alex
now
have been
without
very
going on my phone.
deliberate
Yeah.
of watching films and sitting down and trying to slow our brains down.
It's hard.
And actually, what we've been doing quite a lot lately is watching normal terrestrial TV again.
Yeah.
So we've still got Sky.
Yeah.
So I normally just watch streaming or YouTube
Yeah,
or something.
100%, yeah.
But that's just like you're constantly consuming stuff.
Yeah.
What's really nice? You know what's really nice? An ad break. That's really, really
Gives you
nice.
a bit of time to
Because then you have 2 minutes on your phone. The show comes back on. You go, oh shit, I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Put it back down again. It's actually really good for regulating being on your phone too much.
Yeah, because
Everyone should rewatch terrestrial TV with ads, and during the ads, that's when you can check your phone. When it's back on, you put your phone down.
Well, as you know, I've recently got a vinyl player, right? And you know what I've noticed is like at first, my number one thing was like, I can't skip this song, right? And because like when I'm in the car and I'm listening, it's just like skip.
Even if
right?
you love the song, you get 20 seconds in and you've had the sort of bump of liking it. And
that's
then you
what I
just
mean.
skip on.
And it's like, and what I've noticed is there's this weird thing that happens where you put a vinyl on, right? And then, you know, you go, oh, I want to skip the song. And then something happens to your brain about 10 minutes in or something, like when you're halfway through the vinyl or something.
You just let go.
And you just go, oh, and you're like, this is nice, not actually.
Having to make constant decisions about whether this is a good vibe right now or not.
Into it, and it's almost like a meditation thing. And it's like, oh, and then you realise the magic of the way the album's designed and stuff. And like, you know, and unfortunately, I just think it's becoming less and less everything now. And now, have you seen these new like Meta glasses with the display in the glass?
I think if I ever got a VR headset, that would be the end of me.
Gary V was saying, like, he's calling it now that is in 10 years the way everyone's going to consume media. And he was like, it's going to be in your face and, you know, like literally in your vision. And it's like,
that's the most Black Mirror shit ever.
And now I'm going to, you know, I know we're running over on half time here, you know, but
make one last big grand point and then we'll take a minute.
I'm just going to do a Liverpool and sneak a point in at the last minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not been fucking happening recently, has it?
Well, you know, it's not actually.
It did all right last night, but
that was back to form.
We don't do fussy chat.
Anyway. But no, like, what I mean is that like,
we're gonna take a break. Hey guys, hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. Please remember to go and follow us online, TikTok, Instagram, all those places. Like and comment on this. You can book us for any private parties, events, weddings, whatever it is. Drop us a message on our socials. Come see us live. We're playing every weekend around the Northwest. Let's get back into the episode. I'm not going to cut that. I think we're just going to keep that.
Right.
The slurp into the second half.
Nice. Yeah, why not?
Welcome back.
ASMR. Hello. Yeah.
So what we got this weekend? Back in the game.
Yeah, I'm
back in the game as well.
You are. You're much busier than me, I think, this weekend. I've just got two. I've just got like a private event thing on Saturday, and then tomorrow I'm just playing in a local nice bar. It is a nice bar. Kind of like candlelit, you know, sort of easygoing place.
Is there an expectation to get it bouncing in there, or are you just playing some nice music?
It's like,
they deliberately want you. Have
like,
you been told to turn it down a few times?
A lot of times. It got to the point, I think, the last time I was in there.
Oh, you told me that it basically unplugged.
Yeah, I ended up basically just like, I may as well have just been a Roman singer with, like, you know, not unplugged in, just walk around the table, giving a rose to the women.
Oh my God.
Know.
Selling sunnies on the beach. I've done a few times at Thornton Hall in there.
Oh, they were not nice to me.
The greenhouse one.
Well, I say not nice. Love you, Thornton Hall. Don't ban me or something. They were okay, but when I was playing that wedding, the other month, they came and they were like, could you turn down, we've had complaints off our residents and stuff. So I was like, yeah, sure, okay.
Off the residents?
Off the residents. So I think they mean the people staying in the hotel upstairs.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, sure. So I turned it down. I did turn it down, like probably about 20-30%. But I was like, it's also a wedding and everyone's up dancing. I can't just turn it down to nothing.
Yeah, they
So,
can't book a wedding.
Yeah, so I turned it down
and
a
then
little
complain
bit.
that there's a wedding
and then
going on.
they came over again and was like, would you just be able to turn like down like a little bit more with the bass? And I was like, well, what I'm using subs, like what, like it's a wedding. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, turn off the, you know what I mean? But like, I mean, I will say, it was awesome. It was like a nightclub in the room. Like, I will say, you could feel it in your chest. But I was like, listen.
So when they said residents, they did mean residents. They just meant residents of the local village who could also hear your gig.
Yeah, probably. Like, I mean, but it was sick. That the sound was so good in there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I will say everybody was bouncing in there, and they literally. It was so funny because I love it when this happens because it's like a backhanded compliment when like the staff have to fight through all the people dancing to tell you to turn down, sort of thing.
Come on.
So I was just kind of in that. Was like,
you should just been like, sorry, can't hear you. If you've got a request, write it down on your phone.
yeah. No request. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. But like, also, like, where was the place I was playing the other day? And they were like, just to let you know, we have a noise limiter. And I was like, okay. And then I was playing, and luckily it wasn't one of the power cut ones.
It's just
a
noise
limiter. And I'm sure the whole time it was just red.
Yeah.
It was just literally red. And I was just like, look at my videos online, and you can see the type of music that I play. You can't really play, Freed from Desire and Share Believe while the volume's
70
on
dB,
2,
yeah.
So
well,
like,
I've heard a few people say that they specifically ask the couples if their venue has a noise limiter, and if it does, they don't do the gig.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you're gonna host weddings, it's so crucial because the thing is it makes us look bad to clients in the sense of if the client doesn't care about this behind the scenes stuff. All they want is to have a good time, get up, dance, party, whatever. And if you keep having to turn down because
or halfway through a song, your whole system cuts out.
Yeah. Oh, that's happened to me. It happened to me at a funeral not too long ago. Because it was in a church, the wake, and they had a really big sound limiter because, they were doing a mass next door, which I understand,
Can't hear God over the...
We're gathered here today, you can hear it's free from desire, but yeah, I mean, so, yeah, there was, as I say, the church, and they had a cut-out limiter, and and basically I'm trying to play this well, not funeral, wake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously not the actual funeral. I'm trying to play this wake.
It's a sign from the other side that whoever it is didn't like your music, you're getting cut off.
I know, maybe, it kept going red. And I think what I worked out with it
devil comes out of the ground and says,
yeah, I think what I was trying to work out.
Start having a guitar solo off with the devil.
Oh, yeah, like the end of Tenacious D. Yeah, nice. Yeah, no, I was like, as I say, it was like I figured that out that like if it hit the red 3 to every third time, it
it's or if it's sat in there for like 3 seconds or whatever.
But it can be damaging to equipment because if it pulls the power, the first thing that normally goes off is the desk because it draws obviously because no, it doesn't draw the most actually out the speakers. I don't know, but the desk always goes off first, right? And the thing is if the desk goes off first and there's still a bit of residual in the speakers, you'll get that big pop. And the thing is like obviously if your speakers volume's on very loud, that can damage the cone and you can damage your speakers. And it's like, are they going to care about that? And it's like, a lot of these times with these venues, you don't get told, which I guess you could ask it. It's sort of our responsibility to ask, I suppose. But you should really get told if that's the case, like where they say we do have a limiter that cuts power.
Yeah, imagine any other vendor for a wedding having a situation where if you do your job too well and too kind of all encompassingly, then we'll turn off the service immediately. Like if the photographer's getting like some photo and then they have like an immediate shut off on their camera.
Yeah.
Or the food's getting served and like they cut the gas for the hob or something.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that in any other scenario?
And it's like everyone just looks at you as well when it goes off.
There's never a moment where in that you can go, this is not my fault. This is because of this technicality of this venue.
Yeah. Oh, I should
Try and communicate
I just say
that.
it. I say it on the mic when it comes back on. I go, sorry about that, guys. Whatever. I just say like, it unfortunately, it's not my equipment. Unfortunately, there's a sound limiter in the venue, and I keep hitting the sort of limit, and I don't really want to turn down. Anyway, in that particular funeral, I discovered that the trip switch thing was localized to the stage sockets, and I had
around
I
it.
had really big extension lead, and I just went where the catering was and plugged in my thing, my thing instead. Solves the problem. So take that, God.
Yeah, but do you not think it's mad that the outcome of your gig is on whether the success of the outcome of your gig is a bit dependent on whether you're able to skirt the rules sometimes?
Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, what they don't get is when people book people like me and you, for example, most of the time it's because they want to get up and they want to have a
if you book us based on seeing us live or seeing videos,
so they want to get a bit of a rave, they want to jump up and down, whatever. They're not going to get that with those limitations the venue has. You know what I mean? So it's like
you need a certain volume to get enough out of people.
Maybe if that is a limitation the venue has with volume, maybe the venue should be a bit more involved in the booking process with them and work with them and be like, we would recommend, not to get anyone too loud and lively because we do have this.
I don't know if they would do that though, because they probably just want the work.
I know, but then
then deal with the problems.
But the problem is they're passing the problem on to us, because once we're there, it's like, oh, well, this is just the way the venue is. It's your problem now,
And to be honest with you, oftentimes as well, they have a noise limiter in because they've had environmental health in. And it's not anything they've chosen to do actively.
Yeah.
I know loads of bars and venues would have had
the red tape brigade, isn't it,
And weirdly, it's like a neighbour on the road next door or someone who's just moved in and they're complaining about a venue. I will never understand this. People who move to a busy place because it's cool and busy.
You know what?
And then complain about the venues having life in them.
I lived for a year right next to level.
What do you mean? That's it, right in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Were you in a flat in the middle of Concert Square?
Right, for a bit of time, yeah. Those X1 apartments on David Lewis Street. So the ones that are literally next to Level and Fusion.
Oh my God, Connor.
Right. So Level was like my back garden, right?
Level is a big club in Liverpool.
I lived there for a year, right? You know how many times I complained about the boom, boom, boom in my sleep? None. Because I know that I lived next to a night.
It's a bit fucking rich as a musician to be like, can you tell the nightclub next door to turn it down?
I've finished now. Can we turn down? No, but as I say, it was like it was a given. I mean, I knew where I was moving and the convenience of living there at the time, because I was doing all the town gigs and stuff.
You were a proper town rat then, weren't you? My God.
It was like, get up, go to, play McCooley's at 3 in the afternoon till 5, and then do a 5 till 7 somewhere else. And then I get in at the end of the day, be absolutely knackered from all these pub gigs, and then have to listen to doom, doom, doom all night. But the thing is, I was like 21, so it didn't matter. I was full of
but
energy,
your bounce back ability is
insane. Honestly, one of the best times of my life, to be honest, living there. It was unbelievable, and I do miss it sometimes. But no chance you would get me moved back there now, because where I live now is like way out in the middle of, as I say, it's way away from town, surrounded by farmers' fields and things, and it's nice and peaceful.
So you lived in the middle of town, but you've still never been to Lime Street?
No, because
can we go to Lime Street together? Did we go? We went to Lime Street together.
Yeah, because when I lived,
I don't know why that's burned my head out so much.
When I lived in town, I still drove.
I know, but like the train anyway. I obviously I've had more experience of it because I lived in Newcastle. Got the train to Newcastle quite a lot.
No, but I've been on a bus. It's not like I'm completely foreign to public transport. I've been on a bus before.
You do seem like an alien sometimes.
No, but
like you never had chicken wings before.
I mean,
And now you're obsessed with chicken wings.
I think it's just because my parents do not like chicken on a bone, both of them.
Yeah, but Connor, that's one. Unless you have my parents don't like this about every other example of why you're like a bit of an alien. That makes sense for that one instance. I'm using that as one symptom of a bigger thing.
Right, where I grew up, which is where I now live again, right, is like obviously quite out of the
Mars.
city, right? It's
out of the solar system.
It's hard to get to the city, right? You've got to get like 2 buses and I don't know, like a plane or something.
It's a long straight road.
The point is that because it was such a nightmare, right? Is that like it takes a long time to get into Liverpool City from where I am, you know? And the thing is that so basically it was always drummed into me from 16, get a car, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when
I got a car when I was 16, 17.
Yeah, exactly. So when I obviously first sort of, you know, so I did used to get a bus when I was like 15 to town with my friends, you know, but when I got immediately past my test, I was like, oh my God. And I was like doing a few gigs and I had a bit of money coming in then, you know, which I was very lucky because as you know, like even back then, I mean, the money we got for gigs compared to what most 17-year-olds are making.
It's the same money as now and that's still...
Yeah. I mean, maybe not, because I wasn't doing weddings and stuff.
No, I mean, but for pub gigs.
For the pub gig.
Lower end of pub gigs.
So, like, I was, like, literally, like, still lived at home with my parents for a bit. And, you know, I had all this money from gigs. So I was like, I'm going to get a car. And the second I got a car, you know, where you play music and it's got aircon and oh my God, like you can drive whichever way you want. Like I was like, well, why am I going to get a bus anymore? You know what I mean? Like, so that's the story. Like,
I love how your order of the reasons why having a car is a good thing was particularly insane. You can put your own music on, you've got aircon, you can go in any direction.
I mean, they're all valid points.
It's just also the order of them.
Yeah, I mean... You know,
to be honest with you, when you were 16, 17, having a car to just blast music in was actually very much one of the important things.
Before, when I got my car, but I hadn't sorted the insurance out, so it was just sat up the drive, you know what I mean?
Well, you'd sit in your car, just put tunes on?
And I'd sit in the car, like, you know what I mean? Just sat there, like, pretending to drive. And it was, like, so sick. You know what I mean? No, but, like... You know, when you're a kid and you get your first
play
car,
more, don't you? It's
and the thing is, I was one of the first people out of like anyone I knew at my age to drive as well, because again, I was very lucky with the gigs and stuff that I made, you know, money and things.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it was such a privilege, and then you know, that's it. And then obviously I learned to drive, and then the only time I've really had to get public transport was like, you know, that time. Well, anyway, there was a time when something bad happened and, you know, my car got seized by the police. Anyway, but, you know... Anyway, well, okay, long story. I'll tell you this.
Is this related to teens' Instagrams or something?
No, it's not. It's not. It's a funny story. Well, it's not funny at all.
Depends on your perspective.
It depends on your perspective. Some people will be like, "Oh wow, Connor's a real idiot," but like basically, okay. So, essentially, I.
How long were you driving your car without an MOT?
No, it wasn't without an MOT. It was worse than that, right? Unfortunately, I made a very bad mistake. When I was very young, I want to point out, I'm now grown up.
This isn't your recent missing of your MOT?
No, that was no.
Yeah, don't worry about that one.
Yeah.
Last week.
If you don't get caught, it didn't happen. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm such a grass, aren't I?
So anyway, well, it's MOT now. If the police want to check it, anyway, the point is that like, you know,
when you were a kid,
when I was a kid, I made a big mistake, and basically what happened is I didn't have my insurance set up for auto renew, and I assumed it would just auto renew, which it didn't. And so the day after, my insurance didn't auto renew. And this makes it so much funny, I'm sorry, but I was driving with a 55-inch TV in the car, right? Right, with no insurance, right? Not through my, like, it wasn't deliberate, it was a genuine mistake. So anyway, obviously I get pulled over by the police driving down on my way into city centre. And then they're like, oh, there's no, you know, where's your insurance and all that? And I'm like, oh, well, it just renewed yesterday. And they're like, no, it didn't. And I'm like, oh God. So then anyway, they're on the phone to whoever they speak to about the insurance. So anyway, they're like, we just want to see if this car's insured. And then the people, it's like motor insurance database or something.
Yeah,
and then
okay.
they were like, no, it's not. And they were like, okay, it's not
One
insured.
day after?
Yeah.
Do you not get some kind of grace?
No. Once it's gone, it's gone. So anyway, I showed them my certificate, valid until midnight the day before. Literally, it being like 12 hours. And they were like, no, I get what you're saying. I've got to hand it to them.
Must happen a million times.
Listen, I've got to hand it to them. The police were actually genuinely really nice people. And they, they did all the weird stuff where they breathalyzed me and drug tested me and everything. And then they were like, "Look, we get what's happened, but it's illegal. You know, you can't drive a car without insurance." And I was only really young. I was maybe like 19. So anyway,
I would have absolutely shat my pants.
Oh, mate, yeah. I remember trying to make small talk in the back of the police car, like, "It's a nice car, this, isn't it?" You know,
a bit on long.
Yeah, I was literally saying, "Oh, they're nice, these cars, aren't they?" You know,
is this one insured?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, long story short, is they basically like, "Look, we've got to seize the vehicle because there's no insurance on it." I was like, "Okay, right."
Could you not just pay it on on your phone?
No, because I'd already essentially committed the offence of driving without insurance. So anyway, there's a good ending to this, though. It all resolves well in the end. I'll be quick. But basically, so long story short, they took the car. I was like, "Oh, just to let you know, I've got a 55-inch TV in the back of the car." And they were like, "Well, you're going to have to take it out." I was like, "But I'm at the side of the road." And they were like, "We're really sorry." So I was like, "Oh, I was like, what are we going to do?" And the thing is, I was leaving this part for comedic value. But I also had a girl in the car that I had only been speaking to for about a week or something like that, and trying to be all like, "Oh, I've got a car," like showing up.
And a 55-inch TV, and bringing them both on the date.
The reason I had the TV in the car was because
you were showing
I
off.
was taking the TV.
You wanted to be like...
No, I was taking the TV to her student to come, right? To be like, "Oh, we'll watch movies together. I've got this big 55-inch TV," right? Because she only had...
Wait. You were 1 week into a relationship.
No, it wasn't a relationship. Anyway, it wasn't a relationship. I just you know what I mean?
But why? Yeah, okay. So it's even less of a commitment, and you're taking a telly round?
Netflix and... Well, that didn't exist.
You brought the Netflix and chill round with your... That's like it's knocking on someone's door and having a bed in the front garden and a TV set and be like, "Netflix and chill."
Well, listen, it worked anyway. But my point is...
You took a fucking TV round to a girl you'd known for a week's house.
Yeah, but it was a really expensive TV. It was
but Connor, that's mental.
I was going to take it back. I wasn't leaving it there. Anyway.
Wait, that honestly... Leaving it might be less mental than
weird
taking
situation.
it there and taking it back.
What happened was I met this girl when I was playing in Matthew Street, right? And I was like, listen, I was 19. I was a baller, right? I was trying to show off. Right? And you know, and young Connor was like, so I met this girl at Matthew Street, and I was like, "Oh, I just so happened to be staying in a hotel tonight, because I'm not busy with me gigs." I wasn't. I didn't even have a gig the next day, right? But I was just like, I happened to be staying in a hotel, and she was like, "Oh," I was like, "You can come back to the hotel if you want." And she was like, "Yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Well, yeah, amazing." And then I was literally I just need to go to the bathroom in McCooley's on Booking.com. Book a hotel. I don't actually have a hotel room. Oh, mate, it was great. I miss being 19. Anyway,
me and Alex walked around Manchester yesterday, walked through Studentville, and they're like 2 weeks into being first-year students.
We were just
kids,
don't they?
Oh my God, I miss it so much. But I miss being that age.
So long story short, anyway, is the police seized my car, right? They took that to the impound in the police station, right? And luckily, I was stood at the side of the road with
at least you could do driver's awareness courses there, just on your own telly on the side of the road. I was
stood at the side of the road with a 55-inch TV, brand new, state-of-the-art 55-inch TV. And on the other side, this girl who's known me for a week, what's going on? So, I had to play it cool and be like, "Listen,
this kind of shit happens to me all the time." Don't worry, love. I know how to handle this. We just have to wait 3 hours to get picked up.
No. So anyway, right. So I says to her, I was like, "Oh, they've got it wrong." Like, you know what I mean? I was like,
you let them take the car. You got the TV out the car. You go, no, they made a mistake.
but I didn't know what else to do. So I was just like, I felt embarrassed, obviously. I was like, right. So I was going, listen, I'll get the car back tomorrow.
Do you want to watch Netflix?
It's definitely... I was like, it's definitely... Like, it was definitely insured. I was like, I don't know, I showed them a certificate. I don't know what's going on. Playing it cool. Anyway.
Cool.
She, at this point, all she kept saying to me that I remember is, I'm so cold. Like, I'm freezing because it was the winter as well. So anyway, we're still outside, you know what I mean? And obviously, because we weren't expecting to be stood outside, she didn't have a coat or nothing. So she's
put
like,
a nice
shivering.
warm fireplace on the telly.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess my dad to come, you know what I mean, and pick me up. Because I'm like...
Well, how does that phone call go?
Because I'm like, you know what I mean? So I was like, Dad,
Something's happened
he needs to come and
again.
get me. And he's like, whoa, why? What's going on? He's like, have you broken down? I was like, no. I was like, I've been pulled over by the police and like my car's been seized. I mean, that's like, what? I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean? It's like, how have you done this? Like, you know that. So anyway, I'm like,
but I'm with a bird.
Yeah. But he didn't know that. So I was like, I know it's fine, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Like, they've just made a mistake on the phone. I mean, Dad's like, the police don't make mistakes, Connor. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? He was like, if they've pulled you over for having no insurance, I was like, you obviously haven't got insurance. I was like, so anyway. Long story, I keep saying this. But anyway, to get to the...
say long story short.
To get to the thick of it, though, to round it off, is basically, he picks me up. I then get him to drop me off at Hares, right? Because I'm carrying on with my plan, you know what I mean? Getting the car seized.
Still got Game of Thrones to watch or whatever.
100%, you know what I mean? Like, car
Smooth this over.
Car seized or not, I'm still having a good night.
And you met the parents.
So anyway.
1 week in.
So anyway, so he picks me up, he takes me there, right? And then I get sets up my TV, you know what I mean? All that. And then basically, so long story short, I goes back the next day to get the car, and they go, so it gives them the ticket that the police give you, like whatever it is, like they give you a ticket.
Yeah.
Gives them a ticket. So I said to come to the station. What are you on about? That car's not here at the station, and I'm like, well,
it'll be in an impound.
Where is it? And he was like, yeah, be in an impound. I was like, well, where is it? I don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're the police? Like,
where's my car? You took my car.
Like,
where's my car?
Where's the car? And he's like, maybe try here. So he gives us another address. We goes to another place, and they're like, no, didn't come here. And I was like, what? So anyway, goes home and all that.
No car. So you go and pick your car up and there's no car.
We're trying to chase this car, right, for a couple of days. 3 days later, we finally finds the right impound, right? And they go, well, that's going to be like a release fee of like 600 and something.
Yeah, because I've had this before.
Yeah.
They keep your car and it's a cost per day.
100%.
When I'll come back with my stupid fucking getting my car seized story.
Yeah.
When me and Alex were leaving Newcastle to move back here in 2017, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember when it was. 2017, 2018, maybe 2018. We went on holiday before we'd actually left Newcastle to come to Liverpool. So we'd unpacked. We'd finished our tenancy at a flat.
Okay.
Took most stuff home. Took some stuff to a mate's house in Newcastle.
Right.
And there was one last bit of stuff that was in the house.
Okay. Yeah.
So we put all that stuff in my car.
Yep.
And parked my car on the road by my mate's house in Newcastle.
Okay.
Because we didn't live at that flat anymore. Okay. So we'd moved out. Mm-hmm. But I left my car on the side of the road full of shit.
Right.
And we gone on holiday to Croatia for like 10 days or something.
Yeah.
And on the last day, so this is a famous holiday story for me and Alex because we had quite a big Barney halfway through.
Okay.
And I was in a not a very good... I was very angry man by the end of the week.
Okay.
And I got a phone call from a mum saying the Northumbria police have been on saying that your car's been broken into.
Oh.
Because it was obviously left on the side of the road in Chillingham Road in Newcastle. This is the day before we're meant to be going home, and we'd basically spent all the money we had at that time on the holiday, and I literally had like fucking nothing to my name at this point.
Yeah.
So we get home on the Saturday night, maybe.
Yeah.
I try and go find my car on the Sunday. The impound's closed on Sundays, so I can't get it for a full other day. But they still charge you for that day they're not open.
Yeah.
I turn up, pay the release thing for my car.
Yeah.
And they'd broken the window to get into the car.
Okay.
And glass had like smashed all on the inside of the car. And the guy at the impound who drove my car round to the front so I could take it and leave, they hadn't cleared any of the glass off. So the guy working in the impound had just sat on the seat covered in glass. And then got out of the car and went, "Fuck's sake, mate, why is all this shit on it?" I'm like, "What do you mean? How have I?"
In a police impound, like, come on.
How have I made up this situation to fuck you over by leaving glass on my own seat at an impound?
Yeah, that's crazy. Our police impounds, like, oh, well, why's the bullet holes in the car, mate?
Like, fucking hell, it's a bit of a draft in here.
But, like, so literally the story went good in the end because, so obviously, by the time I got the price back off the impound, they wanted hundreds of pounds. And this was my first car, which means it was like a £700 old, like Ford Fiesta or something.
So the cost of the impound was the cost of the car. So you basically written off the car by putting it in an impound.
So I was just like, you know what? You can keep the car, right? Who didn't even get the car back and was just like, whatever, I'll buy it. If I'm gonna, like, I was like, but at this time, obviously, I'd not been driving long.
I'll buy another car.
So I've been driving for 2 years, right? So I was still within the thing of like, if you get 6 points, you got to lose your license, right? So I'm like, you know what the penalty is for not having insurance? 6 points. So I was like, there's no point me even paying this money for the car because if they
might not be able to drive
if they take me to court in a couple of months, they'll take my license off me, right? So anyway, I leaves the car, right? So 6 months later, still don't hear nothing, and I'm like, huh. So I still have my little thing you gave me.
Yeah, ticket thing.
I calls the police on myself. And I caused
you grassed yourself up. Have you forgotten to do me here?
Because I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm like, calls the police, and I guess this girl on the phone, like receptionist or whatever, you know, when you ring the non-urgent police line.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, literally like something out of a movie. I'm like, so I got pulled over in my car seized by, used. It was like 6 months ago. I was like, I've not heard anything like what's going on. I said, you know, just basically, so I know what's...
Is it done?
Yeah, I was like, just so I know what's going on. She goes, what's the crime number? So I'm like, gives her the crime number, and she goes, give me a minute, I'll be back. And I was like, okay. She comes back and she goes, that crime number doesn't exist. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, it's not in the database, like in the system and stuff. And I was like, well, I've got it here. And she was like, no, she was like, there's no report of like that ever taking place. And I went, well, they seized the car and stuff. And she said, we've got no record of that car ever being impounded or anything, like of being seized. So I'm like, what? I said, well what's like what's happened? And she said, if you want my best guess, she said, I'm imagining that the officers on duty forgot to file the paperwork from it. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Am I still going to get prosecuted? She went, well, no. She said, as far as like we're concerned on our end, like that it didn't happen. She said because of like the statute of limitations thing. Right. She was like, it's been 6 months. Like we couldn't prosecute anyway. She said, so you know, you. She said something like along the lines of, you know, you're a very lucky young man. Like you've got you know,
basically got
away with it. And I said to her, oh,
yes, I bought my car.
So I remember I went, really, like, oh, that's amazing. She went, well, it's not amazing, is it? She said, because you still committed it. Like, she was like, you know, you still committed the crime. And I was like, Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I was like, I know. I said,
but they've
yo,
still fucked you and put your
I was
car
like,
in the
I was
impound.
like, yeah. So anyway, long story short is, so I was like, oh my God, like, I'm not going to lose my license. Great. I've never, ever, ever, ever made any mistake like that ever again. So it was a good teaching.
Except for your MOT last week.
Yeah, but an MOT.
You are such a...
You're going to lose your car for an MOT. Listen, it was a couple of days, you know what I mean? The thing is, right, anyway.
You can drive with 3 wheels.
But anyway, so my point is, anyway, it's like, I've never made that mistake ever again. But I actually searched after that all happened, my original car, to be like, where is it? Like, is it still registered and all
just
that?
a cube of metal comes up.
I typed it in, and it just basically said, like, this car doesn't exist, like, or anything, like the registration had been, like, whatever they do.
Yeah.
So, to this day, with Merseyside Police, I don't know what happened.
They've
To this
eaten
day,
your car.
they took the car off me into an impound, gave me the wrong impound on the police ticket anyway. So then when I finally tracked it down, they said the car existed. Then when I called up 6 months later...
Did you see the car again?
No.
Did you see the car in the impound?
No.
So once they seized
it...
it,
to them. Yeah.
did you see it again?
No.
So you don't even know if it was in that impound?
Yeah, that's right. But my dad to this day laughs at me and says, how do you even know they were real police?
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't
what I
just
mean.
take your car.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, because it was an unmarked car. Like, anyway, it was like, I remember, like it was yesterday, it was an unmarked black Hyundai,
bit less
right? And he was just
common
like,
than nowadays.
yeah, and he was just kind of like, how do you, like, know?
Wait. Were they wearing
They
police
were wearing
uniform?
police uniform,
Okay.
yeah. But like...
That's a little saving
Yeah.
grace, because if some guy in a random black car pulls you over and went,
I
your
was
car's
19,
not insured, give me the keys, take the TV and the girl and fuck off.
Yeah.
And you've basically just handed over
Yeah,
your
yeah.
car
But I
to
was-
some random...
But I was like 19 and I was shaking.
and the
I was
whole
like, oh my
time you
God.
were trying to play it off to spoke like, don't worry, I got this.
That was the best part of it, because when I was speaking to the police in the car, I was like shaking, and then when I come out, I had to just look all
Like, don't worry about it, girl.
You know what I mean? It's not,
Yeah,
it's not my first time. It's not my first time in the back of a police car. You know? You know what I mean? Like, but mate, that's probably one of the worst stories ever. And now, because driving is so crucial to what we do and stuff, like I
to bring
I
it
would
back
never be
around
able
the
to-
circle
yeah.
nicely. Get yourself a car and
100%.
don't lose it.
Yeah, 100%.
And don't give the keys
and
to
I
some random guy
always,
who pulls you over.
I always now, and I was saying this to you and Joe Reeve the other week, I get really bad anxiety on smart motorways and that. I'm like a hawk watching the speed limits and everything, because, like, obviously, I know at some point, you know, sometimes you can't help it, like you in front. But, like, you know, I'd always try...
Sacre bleu.
Yeah, I always try my best to, like, keep a completely clean license now and do everything above board. But, yeah, I mean, that was one story that it could have went really tragic. I would have had to redo my entire driving license, like, driving test again and everything. It was crazy. I was very lucky, and I had a guardian angel on my side at that point. But anyway, so what have we got on this weekend?
Long story short.
Yeah, it was a good story, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a good story. Like, I know it wasn't music related. I mean, I was playing.
Who cares?
I was playing
Tangential.
music in the
This
car.
is a music/comedy podcast.
Yeah, I was
so it
playing
doesn't matter.
music in the car. when
Yeah,
it
it's all
happened,
music.
you know
Everything's
what I mean?
music related.
F the police. NW.
Don't worry, girl, I got this.
Yeah. I was like, honestly, there was
discriminate me.
I can't remember anything more embarrassing than being in the back of my dad's car after that, sat next to her, just like, what do I say? Like, just had the car taken off me. And the worst thing is, because we were in the back seat, so we couldn't put them down. Like obviously, we just had this 55-inch telly over our heads,
no!
and I just sat with this girl I've only known for a little bit, and I'm just like, what small talk can you make, you know?
Anyway, so when this episode comes out, it won't be the gigs that I have this weekend in my life right now. It'll
100%.
be when this episode comes out. I'm actually away again for a few days as of when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Going to
Nice.
the lakes
Ooh.
for a few days.
Where in the lakes?
Going to Hawks Head. We're going to stay with Alex's mum on Tuesday.
Right.
On the way up, and we're staying in a house in Hawks Head for a couple couple of days.
Where's that? Is that Northern Lakes or is that?
Yeah, it's like round Ambleside,
Okay.
around the top of
It's
Ambleside.
gorgeous around there, isn't it? Done a few weddings around there. Really nice place.
Very beautiful. So, and then I'm coming back and I've got a wedding on the Saturday. So when this comes out on the Saturday, I have a wedding. But I'm also a guest at that wedding. So I'm doing
You're
an
a
hour.
guest and you're playing?
Yeah, it's family friend stuff.
Okay.
I'm doing an hour for like the end of the bit just before going into the evening reception.
Okay.
As guests arrive.
Nice.
And then I'm doing the first set of the sort of evening reception and then handing over to DJ and sax. So I've got quite a very, to be honest with you,
it's a crazy weekend, that.
Yeah. So I love those kind of things. I'm thinking about actually changing my offering a little bit.
Okay.
We will wrap up very quickly. I love doing a couple of hours in the afternoon, lightening people up, getting a few people singing. You can never fail there. You either play nice music and create a nice atmosphere, or you play a bit lively and get people going a little bit.
You start it early. Yeah, 100%.
And then you look good either way. They're lovely kind of things to do afternoon weddings.
Yeah.
And I love doing a big chunk of the evening, but then being able to hand over to someone else. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
When I look at my diary and if I've got, it's same with anything.
Yeah.
I've done a few recently where it's full day weddings. They can be 12 more hours in your day, and it's the thing that recently have kind of wiped both of us out a little bit.
Yeah.
But if I can do, I want to get to a point where I just do like a power hour.
Right.
Where I do like, I think I've said this before, where I do your first dance, and then it's a blast for an hour.
Yeah.
And that's the party, and then you have your DJ sax or whatever on
100%.
afterwards. I think if that's actually my
You know what?
peak strong
maybe
point.
It's better to market to people as like instead of 245s, which is the standard, and I hate it because you've always got that break in the middle and stuff, and
You lose a
you
floor,
lose
have to
it.
build it again.
Maybe the best way is to just go, I just do an hour and that's it.
Power hour.
But the hour is just like
Peak. Whole peak.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Something to think about. Anyway, we'll see you next week.
Saves money on the fuel for the pyrotechnics.
Bye.